Hello and welcome back. So the objective for this tutorial is to learn how to create a new project in Android Studio and to learn where the main sections are in Android Studio and what their purpose is. So if you've joined from the last video directly, you should already be at this Welcome to Android Studio dialog. If for any reason you've closed the app or restarted your computer, just open up Android Studio and you should be greeted with the same Welcome to Android Studio dialog. And we're going to go ahead and click Start a New Android Studio Project. So there'll be a Create New Project setup wizard that will come that looks like this. The first screen is asking you to choose a template. Now by default it should be already on Empty Activity like this. And if it's not, please click Empty Activity because that's exactly the one we want to use for now. Later on in the course we will explore one or two of these other templates. We'll see what they give us when we start a project this way. However, right now this is absolutely fine. Also, during this first exploration tutorial where we get to know Android Studio, if you see some words like activity which don't make complete sense in this context, like what's an activity in Android, do not worry, this will be covered in the course shortly. So, empty activity, click next. And the final page of the Create New Project Setup Wizard is just some application configuration. So, first of all, the application name. You can call this absolutely whatever you would like. For this first section, I'm just going to call it the Getting Started app. Now, package name. Now, later on, when you publish your applications to the Google Play Store, this will need to be completely unique. There cannot be two apps with the same package name. The convention that Android recommends you follow is whatever your domain name is, if you have one, in reverse. So com.example. And then the name of the app. If you don't have a domain, you could do com.yourname, because maybe in the future you'll buy that domain. For now though, we're not going to be publishing this app, so you can leave this at the default, that's absolutely fine. Save location. Now I recommend you keep all of your apps and projects in this course together so you know where to find all of these projects for reference. I'm going to create a new folder on the desktop, so users, Udemy Tutor user, okay, and desktop. So I'm going to make one folder now which will be for the course. I'm going to call it the Complete Android Developer Course 2020. And then having done that, I'm going to make another folder for this app, so the Getting Started app. Okay, and that looks good to me. Desktop, course, yep, good. Now this I do want you to change. Language Kotlin. We will be learning Kotlin in this course as described in the course overview, but for now I want us to change this to Java. In my opinion, it's very important to understand the way Java works, because ultimately when you build and launch your applications, whatever Kotlin code you might have will get converted into Java before building the app. So to understand what's going on under the hood with Java and to know some of the big concepts about it is really important. So please change this from Kotlin to Java now. Minimum SDK. SDK meaning Software Developer Kit, is currently on API 16, which was the version of Android called Jelly Bean 4.1. Quite old now. You get a helpful little dialogue saying, information notice saying approximately how many devices in the world that runs on, so pretty much all of them. It's absolutely fine to leave this as Jelly Bean for now. However, later on in the course we will be changing this just to a more sensible default, in my opinion. And that's pretty much it. Application name, whatever you want. Package name, leaving the default is fine for now. Save location wherever you want to keep all of your projects. And please change the language from Kotlin to Java. And then click Finish. So that's going to take a moment to set up. While it's doing that, let's just see how we know when it's finished. So down here we have some activity going on. We want to wait for that to finish. Yep, so as you can see at the very bottom, some more indication that there's some things going on. We're going to wait for this to completely finish. In fact, I'm going to pause the video here and then we'll rejoin when everything has stopped down here. Okay, so depending on the speed of your machine, that may have taken quite a while to download some things and to install some things. So when you see there's no more activity on this bottom notice bar here, that means we're pretty much good to go. So, wow, what a lot of stuff on the screen. This is the point where you might be thinking, how on earth am I going to learn all of this? And my advice to you at this point is, do not worry. We're going to be going through right now the main 3 areas that we're going to be using in the beginning, and everything else you see on the screen at this point, it's just noise. We're not concerned with it right now. You're going to be able to get going really quickly using the 3 main sections. So let's get to it. So first of all, let's maximize the screen as such. And let's see now. So looks like in the middle we have this big section here, which looks like a place where we can type our code, the code editor. We're going to be spending quite a bit of our time in here. So that's absolutely fine as it is. Now over to the right, there's some things we can close down here. So if you've installed this for the first time, you may get a what's new panel showing you some of the exciting things in the latest version of Android Studio. Feel free to read through this, there's some interesting things here. However, if you're new to Android, a lot of this may be a bit confusing or be talking about things that you don't know about yet. So we're going to close this. So this panel on the right corresponds to these different toggles of text you can see on the right hand side. So we're just going to, you can see assistant is highlighted. So we're going to click this to show and hide that. So let's get rid of the assistant. That looks pretty good. So we've now got a full width code editor. Probably more space than we need, to be honest, but that's okay. Now in the bottom right, you may, depending on when you've installed this, get some updates about notifications that things are ready to update. There may be 1, 2, 3, they may be stacked on top of each other. Any little rectangles like this, just cross them off for now. We are always able to update these things later. We don't need any updates right now. So we can close all of these. That's looking pretty good. So full width code editor. On the left side, this left panel, we are going to be using this. So as you can see, we have a panel and that corresponds to these things on the left hand side. In this case, it is the project panel. In fact, project and resource manager, we'll be using these two shortly. These ones down here we don't need to worry about for now. So I'll close that. So project panel, you can show and hide as follows. We're going to leave this one open for now. Now there is one thing I would like you to do. At the top of this panel, you see it has the word Android with a down arrow. This is Android Studio's way of trying to make things a bit more simple for you by gathering certain files together in a certain way. In my experience, this can be quite confusing for beginners because it doesn't reflect the files and folders as they exist on your system. So we're going to change from Android by clicking it to the one at the top that says project. Okay, so from Android to project. Okay, so that's showing your folders now in collapsed form. This top one here is going to be your folders. External libraries and scratches and consoles, you probably won't see that if you were to explore the folders on your computer. So we can ignore those two for now. But this top one, which is collapsed, let's click the arrow to expand the folders. Okay, good. And that is going to be pretty much similar, if not the same, as the folders on your computer. And that will really help with us understanding about where things are and how to find them. Don't worry at this point if you see a lot of crazy files and weird file names and file extensions that don't make sense. They will throughout this course. So project panel on the left, code editor, and the final section we need to worry about for now is this one in the top right. All these buttons here, and that's the toolbar. Okay, we will be using this. We're not going to be using most of these buttons for now, maybe a couple, like the play button. But for now, we need to know where the toolbar is, we need to know where the code editor is, and we need to know where the project panel is. Okay, so that's everything we need to know for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're going to launch this project on an emulator and on a real device.